let's talk toxic car culture. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Just like I mentioned in our last video, this was going to be our topic, and just a disclaimer, my words are not the end-all be-all opinion that you should adhere to. This is just my opinion. If you get offended by anything I say, I apologize, but like I said, this is just my opinion. Now, in the car community, there's really 4 types of categories you can be in. The reason why I'm going to be talking about them is this is where the toxicity stems from. In Calgary, the car community is pretty solid. You can go to car meets, car shows, and majority of them, the vibe is pretty good. Good vibes in car meets, car shows, usually. The car scene in Calgary is not that bad, and it's definitely not the worst. So like I said, there's 4 categories of car people in every community. There's number 1, the elitists. People that are like, only real wheels bro, or only real car parts bro, or oh that's so race, like why do you do that? Number 2 is the hooning and street racing group, and we'll talk about them later. Number 3 is the respect all builds. And number 4 is the track elitists, who pretty much look down on everyone. So those are the 4 categories. You can already tell there's differing viewpoints and different beliefs in the car community with all those 4 groups. And that's where the bad vibes come from. Back in May 2022, which is just last month, there was a car show. I won't mention their name, but because really this could have happened at any show. There were people that showed up to the show with fake wheels and put like fake Vogue stickers on their fake T37s, passing it off as real wheels. Personally, I have no problem with this, but to bring it to a car show is a different story. At a car meet, and whatever build you want, no one's gonna judge you. But if you bring it to a car show where your car is meant to be scrutinized, don't get mad when people are scrutinizing your build. That is what the car show is for. Personally, again, I don't think that you should have even brought your car to the car show. And I know that's gonna tick off a lot of people, but the reason I say that is because it's kind of a slap in the face. It's borderline disrespectful to the people who have genuine builds, who put their blood, sweat, and tears into a build and worked hours to get their car perfect, and they're parked beside a Volkswagen on steel wheels. It wasn't part of the show, but I can see that is very offensive to someone who put the time and effort in trying to actually make their build as beautiful as possible. That's just my personal opinion, but car shows is supposed to showcase the best builds, the best parts, the most unique concepts. And to bring your fake wheels to a car show, that just ain't it, bro. There was an Instagrammer that got a lot of flack for it because he was calling out these people. I don't really blame him. You registered for the show. You registered your car to be judged and to be scrutinized. So don't get mad when someone calls you out for it. I'm not going to mention his name, but he pissed off a lot of people. He was doing it satirically, but with a little bit of honesty. Essentially a PSA. Don't bring this kind of crap to a car show. And I totally understand that, and I absolutely don't blame him for it. So So that's just one aspect of the car culture being toxic, is when different beliefs come into opposition of each other. People think that these kind of builds are okay, and they absolutely are. They're absolutely okay. But there's a time and place for that. There's a time and place for those kind of builds, and it's not at a car show. The second real issue is pretty much the hooning and street racing community versus everyone else. Now, I'm all for having fun with your car, but again, there is a time and place for that sort of thing. Don't be doing it on the street when you're endangering lives. Don't be doing it on private property. There was one TikTok where some guy took his S15 and absolutely destroyed part of downtown by putting tire marks all over the pavement. Honestly, it was a cool burnout, I'll admit. But again, there's a time and place for it. First, you shouldn't be doing that on city property. There's absolutely no reason for it, for a 10-second TikTok. And I actually commented on Instagram about it, saying, oh, this is not cool. And some people messaged me saying, shut up, like, you just don't know how to drive your car. Which is, yeah, probably true. But doing a burnout in the middle of downtown Calgary is not the metric of knowing how to drive your car. What you're doing is detrimental to the rest of the car community in the city. You're drawing attention from cops, and you're getting us profiled. That car is modified. He must be doing some stupid things. I think the car community has a decent relationship with the police here, where the police won't pull you over unless you're doing something stupid. So just don't be stupid, and honestly, you'll be fine. I have been pulled over by the police, and I have a visibly modified car, and they haven't pulled me over. The only time you get pulled over is when you're doing something dumb, and that's on you. Like I said, there's a time and place for these things. There is a drifting community in RMDC. There's the racetrack at Castrol, and they actually have one coming up here in Calgary. They also have autocross. They have drifting events at the airport. Everything you can imagine, there is a legal and legit way to do it. You don't need to be doing it on the street. There's just no need for that. And especially if you're endangering people's lives, it's just not a cool thing to do. Just don't be that guy. And then people are mad saying the police is becoming like California, where they just pull over anyone. That's the direction we're going if you continue to be dumb. The third toxic thing we have in the car community is just being shady, man. I consider myself to be part of the elitist / respect all builds. When I started modifying my FRS, I'll admit, I did a lot of sketchy stuff, and honestly, like I said in my last video, that's part of the process. That's why I don't agree with all the elitists saying, oh, like, if you don't have real wheels, like, you're not cool or whatever. Honestly, I don't care what kind of wheels you got, because it's part of the learning process. If you don't have the money for it, I mean, I think everyone goes through that phase where you cheap out on parts, you don't have money for it, but you learn why you don't cheap out on parts. You learn why you shouldn't plastic up your taillight, and that's part of the learning process. That's what I don't agree with elitists. They think do everything right the first time, which is correct. Do everything right the first time, which is a good mentality when you think about it. But how do you know what's right without making mistakes? So I think making mistakes is part of the process, and everyone should go through that, because they don't know what they're doing wrong if they don't realize their mistake. Now, a few days ago, I heard that someone who I've never met called my car a race. And honestly, if you were have told me that to my face, I would have been like, absolutely, it's a race. I'm not gonna shy away from that. made mistakes and I've done stupid things to my car, but now I realize I shouldn't be doing those things. My FRS was absolutely raced, and I admit to that. But this person didn't have to go behind my back and tell everybody, oh wow, like, why does he have so many followers? His car's race anyways, like, what the heck is that? Now, I don't know what that is, whether it's jealousy or if he just doesn't like me. I've never met this person. If he's ever met me, I think we'd agree in a lot of stuff, because I absolutely raced out my car, and it's kind of, like I said, the learning process. The main point is, don't be talking behind people's backs. If you want to say something, say it to their face. That's where all the toxicity is coming from. That's where all the bad vibes come from, is when people start to talk behind each other's backs. The old saying of, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, really applies to, well, not only in car and anything relevant to cars, but in everything in your life. If you don't like someone's build, then you don't have to say anything, really. You can just go, wow, that's interesting. That's what I do anyway. But I don't go behind that person's back and be like, look at this dumb person doing this. Like, why? It looks so dumb. I don't do that. That's just being toxic. A lot of car people are like that. It's the mentality of, I can do better than you. And that really gives off small PP vibes, man. So those are basically the 3 things that are super toxic in the car community. If you guys have anything else you wanted to add, or anything you don't agree with me on, let me know in the comments. I'm very open-minded in all these things, and honestly, like I said, my opinion is not what you all should adhere to. These are just my opinion. If you have any different opinions, anything you want to say to me, let me know in the comment section below. And like I said, I'm open-minded, so I'll hear you out and we can have a conversation. So a little update for you guys. I got a phone call from the dealership, and it's a little bit good and bad news. Good news is, yay, I'm getting my car a little sooner. Bad news is, it's in the winter months, between September and December, he says, which is not ideal. I wasn't planning to winter drive this car, and I'm kind of iffy on whether I should, but it's my daily driver, or it will be my daily driver, so I think I have no choice in the matter. So we'll see what happens, but I'll keep you guys posted, and hopefully good things will come, because I have so much already planned for it. It's a toxic trait of mine to go shopping already to modify this car when I don't even have it yet. Again, thanks for listening, you guys, to my TED Talk, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.